Hello folks, it's Tom Bissonette here. I'm at the SAR conference at the trade show on Friday night, September 11th here at the Saskatoon Inn. And we're standing in front of the Adhesive Templates Canada booth with my good friend Dan Bernier. Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, hi Tom, thank you very much. Well, I'll give you background on myself.
Sure.
I'm actually from the industry. I grew up in a small town. After high school, went straight into auto body, became a painter, and really found this interesting. And that it was awesome to work on cars. And along the way, I got to meet some really interesting people like yourself. And and here we go. Along the way, one of the things we ran into was a company in the U.S. that made these templates.
Great.
I was actually one of the guys in the body shop that, like a lot of you guys out there yourself, I was a kid that was told, hey, go retape that nameplate. So I got the scars in my hands to prove it, that I was the one with the razor blade cutting away on the wood table, cutting two-sided tape for nameplates. So when I saw this a few years ago, it really hit home because it was a bit of a throwback to my old days. At the same time, I saw it as a solution for shops when we're retaping nameplates. It can be done faster, it looks better, and it lasts a long time. So this is just a simple solution for body shops. Yeah.
Let's take a look at a couple of these. Tell me how they work. I kind of get the idea that it's like a decal almost, but it's a tape decal that you put onto the nameplate. Is that correct?
Exactly. So similar when you buy a roll of two-sided tape at the body shop level, it's just that. It's just a roll of two-sided tape. What we do is we actually have sheets of two-sided tape. We went to 3M Automotive. They spec'd it out for us, and we get it custom made so that now we can laser cut the two-sided tape to match up with what the nameplate needs. So as you can see, there's one-piece nameplates. Common one are Chevy bow ties, for example, F-150s, CRV.
This is what the nameplate looks like when you get it?
That's the shape of the nameplate, yes, and what we have is just a two-sided tape. So what we have here is a backing that's clear, the front that's a protective layer that gets by and shows up the two-sided tape. It's hard with my nail, I cut my nails. But anyways, you can peel that off and you expose the two-sided tapes, and now you can take your nameplate, stick it on here without having to hand cut the tape, and it's custom fit to that nameplate that you need, put it back on the car.
So the one-piece ones are kind of slick. You just peel her back and stick her on.
Pretty much.
Now, I noticed you've got one here that looks kind of nasty. That says what, Grand Caravan?
Grand Caravan.
How the heck would you do that?
So, a couple tips for all the body shops. We all know that the one-piece ones are the easiest to do, right? You want to soak the product, or the nameplates in our Beanie Do product, our Blue Bear product. What it does is it softens the old tape. Because what most guys are doing is they're taking razor blades or they're taking the eraser wheel to try to remove the old tape off the nameplate, and it's time consuming. So what we do is we take the old nameplate, once you pull it off the vehicle, you throw it in a tray.
Is that the remover there?
This is the remover right here.
What's it called?
Blue Bear 280 AH.
Blue Bear. And you pour it in this tray?
Pour it in that tray.
Dump your decal in
Take your nameplate, just dump it in there and walk away, go back to work. Let it sit overnight.
Overnight.
Overnight. The reason you want to let it sit overnight is that that adhesive remover here, the 280AH, it softens up the old tape and makes it easier to remove.
Right.
Okay. So the next day you can pull them out. And you just take a plastic scraper and you can scrape off the old tape easily.
Sure. Hey, listen, I've heard through the grapevine that some of those nameplates with the little red fleck in them, you got to watch those guys. Is that right?
You're right. So there is the odd nameplate out there. For example, the X31. The old C-Max, where they have a bit of a red insert on them. That red is a paint, so if you completely immerse the nameplate on those, it can actually remove the red, so you gotta be careful on those.
You gotta be careful,
So the old chrome ones, the old matte black ones, like the Ram 1500s that are matte black, they're safe to soak completely. If you're at all concerned, just put a thin layer of the product in the container, and this way you just put the adhesive side down and doesn't necessarily completely immerse the nameplate. Don't immerse it. If you're at all concerned, right? And so now you have it immersed. The tape softens up overnight. You take a plastic scraper, you remove it off, and then you just rinse off the nameplates. The product is biodegradable, so you can do it in the sink. It actually breaks down naturally. And now that you got a clean old nameplate, you put on the 3M adhesion promoter. We've all seen these packets.
I've seen that, yes.
It makes everything stick, right? You put that on the back side of the nameplate, and now you place your letters down on the tape. And the idea is our tape is cut so that the spacing is appropriate, right? So whether it's a Grand Caravan, back up for a second, bud, or a Silverado, this one's actually ready to go back on the vehicle.
So that nameplate actually comes like this, or this decal comes like this.
Yep.
And you just got to place the individual letters in there so it's all ready to go for you.
Correct, yeah. And one of the things we always recommend is that we have part of the startup kit is just a simple grid here. And what that does is while you're placing the letters on, you put the template down and you just use it as a quick check as you go. So you can put them on straight.
Perfect.
And if you ever put them on crooked, it's easy. All you got to do is lift it up, move it, put it back down, and on you go.
Yep.
Right?
So what's the best way, like obviously training would be a big factor here. What's the best way for a shop to get training and understand how to use this?
Okay, so good question. So for starters, a common mistake at the body shop level is going to the wrong website. So our website's at www.adhesivetemplates.ca. The American site is the .com.
Oh, right.
So that's a common thing. We get guys having problems where they go to log in and they can't log in.
Yep.
It's because they're on the wrong website. So just make sure you're first on the .ca website. Yep. Next thing is you go to the FAQ section, and on there under number 2 is how do I do templates, and then there's some videos. So we're going to have we already have one on there. We're loading a second one on there now. Is basically a video you can watch to show the whole process of how to do a template to put your nameplate back on the car. And I always suggest guys to do it. It just takes a few minutes. Watch it. This is not overly complicated, but there is a process to follow to make it easier, right? So if you watch the video, the process makes it where any guy can do it in the shop and get it ready. And that's the other thing we recommend is that, I own a body shop as well, and I have some great technicians, and these guys are, they're really good at welding on rear panels and straightening frames, so I get them doing that. I have a young guy that's a prepper. He's the one that actually gets the nameplates ready. Yep. He's a young, keen kid. He's got a good eye for detail. He gets these ready quick for the techs. So this way the techs aren't spending their time getting a nameplate ready. I'd rather get them doing the heavy hit stuff, right? So we always recommend that as well.
You don't have to buy that young guy Band-Aids then either.
Exactly, yes. He doesn't get the same scars that me and you have, Tom, right? Okay,
That's
so,
good. Danny, I really appreciate it. And you're going to be speaking tomorrow afternoon, I think around 1:30 or something like that too. Somewhere in that neighborhood. So,
in the afternoon at some point.
You'll be talking and sharing with us. And thanks again for all your support. And I think you guys have done a great job with this. And really appreciate you coming to Saskatoon.
Yeah, well, thank you, Tom. And we have, we're really excited to do business with the shops in Saskatchewan in general. Yeah. We've been received well. The shops have been really good to deal with. We know there's a learning curve to this, but as it does get easier for all the shops, and we're really glad that the interaction with the shops has been positive. Yeah, everyone's been respectful to us, and we really like it. We like coming out here. So thank you, Tom. Yeah. Yeah.
Even though he's from the hated Manitoba with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, we love having you come out.
Let me slide
all right,
okay,
you
good.
bet.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you very much.